Well, it's 8 o'clock, so I guess we're going to get started. So, hello everyone, and welcome to Fabulous Friday TV. Women from all over the world are coming together today. Fabulous Friday TV is about celebrating fabulous, about living fabulous, being fabulous, and feeling fabulous. And I don't know about you, but TGIF, thank God it's Friday, and thank God I'm fabulous. I'm Sherry Kilurgis in Vancouver, Canada. I'm with At 45, the magazine for women when life changes, and co-founder of Fabulous University, a beautiful platform for women to take courses wherever they are in life.
And I'm Anne Marrott. Welcome to Fabulous Friday TV. I'm the founder of Women Connect. It's a women's membership program offering upskilling and empowerment to women worldwide, and co-founder of Fabulous University, where you can reconnect with the fabulous you. And I'm really happy to be here today because it's such an interesting topic. A lot of the times we saw something we don't really think about in our everyday life on how to actually introduce ourselves. That's basically it, isn't it, Jerry?
It is. And Anne and I are feeling so blessed today that you're making the time in your busy schedule to join our show. Some of you are getting up early to get to the show. Others of you are delaying your supper time. And we're just loving having such a fun time connecting with you. And we're busy searching for prizes and finding subject experts that can answer our and your questions. And it takes work to put on the show. That's why we really appreciate all your support and ask that you help us grow. If you've won a prize or you win a prize or you find some content that really resonates with you, we'd really appreciate it if you would share it with your friends and invite them to join our show. So, just a little bit of housekeeping. Our show is broadcast live, but it's also taped and put up on YouTube every Monday. And we just want you to know that if you're sharing or if you're not comfortable with having your picture online, you'll want to use an avatar and turn your video off. So, have you joined the Easter scavenger hunt yet? We've been having fun every day since last week. There's a clue that goes up every day. You have to solve the clue and post in the comment a picture of the answer. Now, Anne, I've seen you had some fabulous ones. I loved the one with your bunny.
Oh yeah, did you see that? I
And
fun.
it's been a lot of fun. And Holly, I've seen some of the ones you've posted. I've been watching Gina. You responded. So it's a fun way to celebrate the Easter. But not only that, you are getting an opportunity to win an amazing prize. And that's a beautiful leather bracelet from Ronit Zeisweller Jewelry Design in Switzerland. Now, Ronit, she creates unique, one-of-a-kind pieces. She's a native of Israel, but she's a resident in Switzerland. And her jewelry, well, if you look on her site, it just incorporates a real statement kind of perspective of bold colors and shapes that are influenced by many of the countries and cultures that she's lived in. And Ronit believes a woman who is classical, energetic, and does not flinch when people turn their head when she enters the room is a woman who represents something unique to herself. So visit her site, ronit.siz.com. And now remember, it's easy to participate and win. go to our Facebook page. Even if you're starting today, you can go back to the beginning of the day, which was last Friday, and do each clue, get your pictures up there, and get who entered to win that beautiful bracelet. So today we've got a really interesting show. Do you know who you are? You know, connecting to yourself and especially to others. Well, it's just so many of us get lost in the details that we miss the connection, especially to ourselves. And this week we're doing a fun exercise. Can you communicate who you are and what you do or what you care about in a minute or less? Well, today we're going to learn how to do that, and Gina Best is here to help. Now, Gina Best is a business coach, and she's a really good one. She launched and grew a multi-million-dollar mortgage brokerage business here in Vancouver, and she knows how to build a business, run a business, and grow a business. Welcome, Gina.
Good morning. Thank you so much. It's funny. I also know how to get lost in the details, just so you know. And I think that when Sherry and I talked about this, sometimes people get lost in the details and we get bogged down. A lot of the times we do this, I did a lot of networking over the years. I built my business by referral. So I had my 60-second infomercial down pat for business. That was the easy part. But then the question comes in when you have to bring yourself into it as well. Right. And it all goes back to, it's all about connecting. Like this introduction is about connecting with people. Some people you're going to miss the mark, and guess what? You don't want to connect with them anyway. But it's sharing enough of yourself with your edit button, of course, that you connect with people. So there's lots of questions that you can ask yourself. Now, Sherry, that list you sent me, did you just send it to me?
Yes, I did. Yeah. So you can use some of those questions to.
Absolutely. So, you know, has everybody experienced doing an infomercial in a business setting or a personal setting?
You can just raise your hand in the chat or answer yes or no.
Right. Because it's always a little bit different, right? And these infomercials, if it's for business, it's about educating versus selling. Right? We're not selling anything. We're not selling anybody in our pitch. What we're doing is we're connecting with others. Right? So Sherry's going to give you an example. She did it the other day for me. Sherry, do you do your example?
Okay. So my name's Sherry Kalergis. I'm newly retired and I'm helping my husband adjust. One of my passions is traveling, and I've been fortunate to visit Greece a number of times. And I'm moving there for 6 months if COVID ever gets over. Do you like traveling?
So right there, she said she shared a little piece of her with us. And anybody who's got an interest in traveling or Greece or a newly retired husband, right, there's an opening to connect because it's all about the connection, right? When it comes to business, people don't do business with people for what they do. They do people for business for what they are. It's all about that connection. It goes back to your why. So, Anne, can you do one of these off the top of your head? Oh, you're muted, my sweets.
Okay, yes. So yeah, I can do one. Can I go ahead?
Absolutely.
Okay, my name is Anne Marriott, and I'm a mother of 2 awesome grown-up kids. I live in Johannesburg, South Africa. I'm a marketing specialist who loves to be creative. My favorite thing is to travel around the world. I love going to new places, and my best places so far is Venice. And I'm more of a savory person rather than a sweet person. I love Italian food. I love it when it rains, and I'm a movie addict.
Perfect. So again, lots of openings to connect. And that's what this is about. It's giving others the opening to connect. And if you're thinking, oh my God, I don't know what to say, just, you can ask your questions about, like Anne talked about her boys. She talked about what kind of food she loved. She also talked about, that she loves to travel. Her favorite place is Venice. We found out she's a movie junkie, right? She told us where she lived. So that's always interesting because I know for myself, like, I want to know, like, do you see wildlife outside your door? Are you in the city? Like, there's lots of questions, and they can be, little things about, your favorite activity, how do you want to be remembered? What's the best piece of advice you've ever gotten? And you also tailor these based on the group. So with you ladies, I would never do a pure business one with this group, because that's not what this group is about. If I was in my regular networking group, then I would focus more on, my name is Gina Best. I'm a life interrupter, AKA a business coach. Right now, my specialty is getting women out of their own way, achieving what they want to achieve, and letting go of the stuff that doesn't serve them. How do I do that? And I would go on, because it's more business side. This group, it would be, my name is Gina Best. I'm a life interrupter. I have 2 amazing boys that I'm not quite sure I'm going to survive. I love to camp. I actually recently just bought a little trailer and traded my car, and off we go. And the one thing you really need to know about me is that I beat to my own drum. Rules are not my friends, and I do things the way I want to do. Right? So it's the openings there. So who wants to give it a try?
I'll go.
Oh,
Okay.
Good. Great.
Hi, I'm Arlene. Chanol is my last name. It's a French name. I was born in Quebec, Montreal, moved to Vancouver. When I was in Montreal, well, I lived in the English community and did all my business and family in English. Lived in the west side of Montreal. Moved to Vancouver. Guess what? Met a Frenchman. And I went, what? I had to come to British Columbia. Met a Frenchman, married him, 30 years. And now I'm single again due to the fact that I lost him. But I have a new partner. And I don't know if you all know that I met him through online dating. And I am going to be participating in the writing of the new Pursuit 2022 book that Sherry got me involved in. I can't wait. I'm going to be writing about online dating for women of a certain age. That's me. I'm retired and I'm a certain age.
And that's
It's gonna be a
fabulous.
lot of fun. That's what I'm into right now. And I'm retired. So, yeah.
You gave us tons of openings, tons of
There you
ways to
go.
connect with you. And I know I might be calling you to find out some information, right? Like there you go. You have the opening and you made us laugh, right?
That's what I like to do.
Yeah. But I will admit, in networking and building relationships, especially online, funny is remembered, cheeky is remembered. Don't take yourself too seriously. And I love the fact that you had to move to Vancouver to meet a Frenchman. That just makes me laugh. Okay, so thank you for sharing. Who wants to go next?
Cheryl, well, I'm not really ready to go, but I'll just give it a wing.
Wing it.
So my name is Cheryl Dobash, and I am a mother and a grandmother of 9 grandchildren. And I recently relocated back to Vancouver area and manifested this amazing place living on the beach. I decided a couple of years ago I had to live on the beach, and here I am right on Marine Drive, loving this absolute beautiful sunny day. I love to travel. However, we can't really travel. So I am finding ways to travel and just reunite myself with this beautiful Vancouver.
Excellent. So you were ready. Right. And for you, I love that you bring up that you decided you were going to be on the beach and you made it happen. And that's such a big opening for people to think, oh, how'd you do that? It's giving the people the opening to connect with you. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Gina, is there any particular way for some of the people who are, just trying to write it up now? Is there 3 sentences, you introduce your name first, something is there some kind of formula that people can try?
Always your name first. Always your name first. And if you let me just bring up a document I downloaded yesterday. It's always your name first. And if you were in a more business setting, right, I would absolutely say what you do. right? If you were doing business. If you're not, you don't need to do that. You can say, you can tell a story. Always a great idea. I want to tell you a little story. Right? And you share a little story about something you're connecting with, especially if you're trying to attract a certain type of people. Right? And then if you're in a position, like today is about connecting and just getting to know each other. But if you're in a position in doing this for a business version, you ask for it, right? Be specific. Who do you know who's a woman entrepreneur who's doing pretty okay, but she's stuck? Right? She's struggling because she wants something different. Yeah, she wants to make more money, but the rest of her life is making her crazy. They're really phenomenal people for me to talk to, right? The more specific you are, the more you'll get. And don't ever say, I always laugh when I sit in networking meetings and chiropractors say, a good referral for me is anybody with a spine. Like, seriously, people, right? And the language, if you're asking for something specific, the language is, who do you know who? It's an NLP thing. Who do you know who? Right? Don't just say, a good referral for me is someone, like, who do you know who is over 45 and fabulous? And maybe he's feeling a little isolated. Those are the women I'd love to connect with, right? Who do you know who wants to build an online business, knows enough about funnels to, make them dangerous, and needs some clarity, right? So for the business, who do you know who is newly single, over a certain age, and would like to learn the ins and outs of it, or would like some advice on it? Right? So it's always, and it's always about putting it out there. And call to action is always great. You know what? If you love to travel and you want to have, if you're feeling a little isolated and need to talk to someone and you love to travel, reach out to me and we'll have a virtual coffee. Right? So you always have to ask for it. Like, that's one of the single biggest things women don't do. We don't ask for it ever. Right? Okay.
I'm madly taking notes, Gina. That was great. Thank you.
Ronti, I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong.
Ronit.
Okay.
Hi.
Would you like to go? Hi.
Yeah. I mean, so funny that you're asking these kind of things, because I always had problem to introduce myself, and I hated it. I don't know why I don't like to talk about myself, but all my life I had to do it because I was always in this kind of milieu where I had to introduce myself. So anyway, my name is Ronit Sizvila, and I'm from Israel, but married to a Swiss guy. And I live in Zurich after lived in quite some countries. My passion is music and dancing. I love change. I like to change every few years. I like changing the countries or whatever. The only thing that I didn't change was my husband. So now that I'm Zurich, I mean, I'm not moving really, but I change the furniture. So every once in a while, I have to change the furniture. So this is my big things. And I am a jewelry designer, and the same thing. I like every piece to be different because I like the change. I don't like the same thing. I love languages. I love multi-culture. I love different food. And of course, I love traveling. So that's about me.
Thank you. I have to ask a question. So one of the things that I know, especially for women of a certain age, it's a bit different. It's a bit different for the up and comers, like under 25. But even then, women have a very, very hard time talking about themselves.
Yep.
Because most of us were brought up with, don't be conceited. So that I say to you, put that aside. Oh my God, love change. You move around lots except to keep your husband, which is pretty good. You make beautiful jewelry, like amazing jewelry.
Thank you.
And for you, I would say you need to make a list of every day of 3 amazing things about yourself and say them out loud. because
Okay.
there's a fine line between bragging about yourself and promoting yourself. And you haven't got that line in your head yet. 'Cause
Exactly.
You think it's all bragging, but it's not. It's
Exactly.
promoting.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you're my, oh, like, I'd like to get my hands on you. You're my prime, should be quiet. Right, but that's what it's about. And you gave us so many things about to connect with you in there. And one of the biggest ones for me that leaped out was that you love change, because 98% of people will tell you they hate change, and that's amazing. Right, and I'm the same with you. Like, I have to move the furniture if I can't go somewhere. Like, it has to change up somehow. Right, so thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Okay, and our last one is Holly. Are you there, Holly?
I'm here. Sorry, guys. I was driving at the time, so I just got home. So, but I had tuned in, so I could hear you all. So I guess my elevator pitch would be, I'm Holly James. I'm from Edgerton, Alberta, which is a small rural town here in Alberta. And I would describe myself as an unapologetic, ambitious woman.
Sorry.
I started my career as a part-time secretary and advanced in public entity with the Alberta Energy Board as a manager. And I've recently retired after 20 years and have dealt with my most of my life in a man's world, I guess I would say. So I'm enjoying the change, living here on our farm, and we're running a farm that my husband's family has owned for 100 years, which is quite a undertaking. And I'm learning to drive the sprayer and the grain truck. So that's what I'm changing up this year. I'm a mother of a multi-generational household, a job that I don't think will ever go away because I don't ever want it to. It's something, once you become a mom, that you're just in love with your children. And it's something that continues. You think it's going to be over at certain phases, but it never is. And I'm looking for a new passion in life, something of a difference. One odd thing about me is that I never miss where I've been, and I'm always excited to where I'm going.
Excellent. Thank you. Very cool. And I got to think, I first thing makes me think, are my children never moving out? Is the first thing. I got lots of years.
Truth sometimes.
Lots of years yet. And then you gave us lots of openings. You know, you worked in corporate man's world. You're running a farm, like, just, you know, super interesting, right? And plus you gave us the opening about you're looking for a new passion, which is just, that's like an open-ended question, you know? So thank you again. Thank you very much for sharing. So that's kind of the elevator pitch. And again, it gets tailored to your group. Right? If you are going to a business group, I can actually even give you a little form that you can fill out, so it's very, very structured. Like, if it's in a business group, say what you do, ask for what you want. Like, remember that you got to ask. So for jewelry, it would be, I am an amazing jewelry designer. If you want to check out, I would always take a prop. I'd always hold up a prop, always. Something like this. Who do you know that needs a little pick-me-up? Right? My jewelry is the perfect thing for that. Something like that. If, you know, the online dating one would be like if you want to be a consultant for that, oh, like, that could be a business itself. You know, who do you know who needs an online dating coach? And I don't mean just, you know, to tell you what to do, like, actually how to navigate the ins and outs of it. So be specific if it's business side. For ClickFunnels, it's like, again, who do you know who knows enough about funnels to be dangerous and not getting the effect they need? So, you know, for Sherry, for expanding her magazine, who do you know who's over 45 and interesting? Like, my God, there's so many openings. So just tailor it to your group. That's the biggest thing. And always share a little piece of you. You know, and I'm not saying use your edit button depending on the group. You know, in women's groups that we feel comfortable with, we tend to share more of our personal than we do in general groups, right? So tailor your group and share what you're comfortable with, but give them that piece that they can connect with you. You know, very often if I'm networking, it's too cold this morning, but I'll make sure I have a short sleeve shirt on, because I'll say, you know, if you want to know the story of my tattoos, ask me. And they can, because I have a whole lot, it's just it's cold here this morning. But give them the connection. Let them, you know, give them something that they can look out and connect with you.
Amazing, Gina. Thank you so much for
You're
leading
welcome.
that. I learned so much every time I get involved in this exercise. I always find ways to tweak it. And what I love about it is you are sharing part of yourself, but you're encouraging the other person to share with you.
Exactly. It's the opening, right? And then when, you know, if you go from here, you know, in real life, it's much easier. But say you go into a Zoom, you're in a meeting and you do this, and then you go into a Zoom room, ask people questions, right? Like the easiest way to connect with someone is ask them about themselves, because everybody likes to have the opportunity to share who they are, but especially as women, we're kind of told not to.
Well, and I think it's ingrained in us too, because I know for me, I was in a man's world for most of my career, but I always, whenever I was in a situation where a woman, you know, was taking control or was saying something to bring notice to herself, I'd sit in the background and think, oh, you know, like that's not the right way to do it. But as I've matured, I realized, gosh, we have to get out there and do it.
And those are hardwired into us from a very early age. And as much as I beat my own drum and I'm pretty in your face and bold, it still kicks in with me. Right? And it's one of these old rules in my head that I always have to check in with and say, go away.
Yeah, no, it's so true. I think, you know, I'm just curious if how many other women feel that way that are on, you know, just put a note in the chat, because I think it is pretty common. So Gina,
Yes, my sweet.
We've got a mastermind that we're getting together. So do you want to share about that? And
I would love to share about that. I'm ready now. It's funny how you fall down the rabbit hole and put things off. So we are getting ready to run one of my masterminds, and it is a mastermind group, but it's also group coaching. It's funny how this week I was thinking to myself, oh, I need to develop a group coaching program. And I realized, I already have it. I just call it a mastermind. So how it works, it's 10 to 12 months. I can't remember what we decided on, of digging deep for lasting change. It's about figuring out, you can do it for business or personal, and it's a complete mix of both. It is not all business, it's not all personal. So how it works is we get together, we share our victories, our struggles, whatever's going on. We collaborate with that. We do a activity every week and every month. And again, some are business, some are personal, because the reality is, you know, 80% of the problem in our business is us and personal stuff. So it's figuring out all that stuff. And then it's about figuring out where you want to go, how we're going to get there. And the magic of it is the group, right? We also do, besides our monthly meetings, which are usually 2 hours, they were 3. I've just took them down to 2. We're going to see how that goes. If we're too pressed for time, we'll have to rejig. We have a Facebook group that we will interact with each other. Plus, once a month, we're going to have a question, answer, and a venting session. So, because sometimes you just need to get it off your chest, and this is the safe place to do it. Plus, there's biweekly emails and homework. It's just amazing. If you want to do something different, and I don't use the C word, the change word much, because it usually freaks people out. So if you want to do something different, this is what you need to do, because it's absolutely amazing.
And I can second that. I've been through Gina's mastermind, and it is a fabulous awakening. That's the way I look at it, because often when we're starting a business or in a business, our heads down, we're learning all these things, and we forget to take the step back and get the overall picture. And even we can forget where we wanted to go. And sometimes that changes in our business and we don't acknowledge it. So I found it just so helpful, Gina. So if you're interested, you want to go to gina.best mastermind, or you can find it also on our at45.com website.
And if you go through my website, make a note I make you fill out an application, make a note that you're coming from this group, because the regular price on the website is not the price we're charging you guys.
Okay, great. Thanks for that, Gina. I forgot to mention that. So Anne, is there any questions about that?
I have a question. Did you say when it starts?
We haven't decided. We've got a few people interested. We were waiting for, unless we have a certain amount of number, it doesn't work. The magic is not there. So what we are hoping is for mid-April start.
Okay, so I'm definitely.
I got your name on the list, my sweets.
And my name. Don't forget.
I got your name too.
Good.
Yeah. And to be completely honest, because this is a women's group and we can say it, I've been a little, I don't know what the right word is. Anyway, Monday morning I woke up and thought, what the fuck is going on with me? And I need to get my act together. And I walked around for days thinking, oh, I need to do this and I need to do that and I need to do this. And then yesterday finally hit me and thought, I know what to do. So I did it. So we all get stuck in the details now and then, right? Stuck in that rut. I talked to you the other day. I'm like, maybe I need a business coach. And guess what? I went and pulled my book out. And it's amazing what happens. We all get
business coach.
It's amazing how we get in our own way.
You've been quiet.
Ooh, who's that?
It's Sherry saying, Anne, you've been quiet.
Oh, me. I just love Gina. Gina, I love you. You know why? I get Gina contributes to Women Connect, and she's so giving, and she gave quite a bit of stuff last month, which I split up so that I could use over the month, because her material is so good. And the ladies are, obviously to market Gina and promote her, and the memberships get her content for free. So I'm just so looking forward to, I'm never quiet. When I'm quiet, I'm listening. Yeah.
And Cheryl, you use Gina's her manual, I think, from Women Connect when you started this year, didn't you? And you had some positive feedback on it.
It's wonderful. Yes, I'm still using it. I printed it off and used it, and I shared it with some of my team.
I'm glad you printed it. I'm glad you printed it, because that's the magic.
Yeah. Yeah, and I put it in a booklet, and fabulous.
Isn't that something? How I didn't realize there was such a connection with actually taking action and writing things down. And Gina, maybe you should talk about this a little bit, because what I noticed is, because I've been in technology most of my career, I always use my phone, and I have Samsung Notes, and anything I'm doing, whether I'm scheduling or that, I'm always picking up my phone and putting it in. And I wasn't using journals or books or anything like that. And then about a year and a half ago, my daughter, we were sort of having a mastermind session together, and she told me, Mom, you've got to get some books. And she pulled out 4. She runs her life in 4 different books, and everything she writes down, depending on what kind of part of her life, in one of those books. And since I started that, it's actually been an amazing experience. So why is that, Gina?
Well, I can't do 4. I got to tell you truthfully. At business stuff, I still, I have a notebook on my desk that everything goes down, because I forget. And I can't do things and do phone at the same time. So I write things down. But when it comes to, like, if you're doing business stuff and scheduling and stuff like that, sure, use your phone. But when you get a piece of paper and a pen, and you know what, I have the fancy new iPad and the pen, it's still not the same. It engages a different side of your brain.
Yeah.
Right? It's a totally different side of your brain. So say you were going to bring, so I need to get my newsletter back up and running. So I started yesterday brainstorming the ideas down on paper, and I will write them on the computer, but I have to get them out because it engages a different side of your brain. Now, having 4 books to run your life, hey, if you can figure that out, sure. I can't do that. But I have, a book for business that I write all my stuff down. I have a journal. I will admit to you these days, I used to journal every night, and these days I do it every second night, and I'm only getting like a paragraph because I got nothing to report. Like, I'm in Groundhog Day over and over. Like, there is nothing new going on. You're like, I got nothing. But I still write a paragraph or 2, right? But it just engages a different side of your brain. And that's why lots of people said to me, because I usually, this is the first year I haven't printed off my booklet. And I have a booklet, like, I love it, right? It's a booklet. Last year I did the Surlocks, love it. And people are always like, well, why isn't it a fillable PDF? Because it doesn't work the same. It doesn't work the same, right? It's that piece, it's that piece, it's the same side of the brain that's used when you're making jewelry. It's that artistic side, and you have to get away from technology sometimes to do it.
Yeah, I agree with that. And also, there's another part of it. I mean, many years ago, I think it was probably in like 2017, I took a course with John Ashraf. I don't know if you know him, but he gave a course on having it all. It's called Having It All, and it's more the neuro side of, like, the mind side, but he calls it neuro balancing or something. And he was saying that when you write down, I love writing on paper. That's my big thing. I keep notes on my phone if I don't have a piece of paper. But when I'm at my desk working, I've always got my little notepad here, so now I write down everything. Even when I'm assessing people's sites, I write it all down. I had one today, so I wrote about 4 pages on his site. But the best part of it is when you've got your list, especially a to-dos list, and then you actually write down what you have to achieve in that day. And the best thing for me is when I cross that off. It just gives me such a good feeling. Like when I put that line through it, or I highlight it, that I've done it. It's like, wow, we've achieved something,
And speaking of that to-do list, that's my next thing I'm going to tell you about. So when you're doing your to-do list, can you change? I want you to think of it as, it's more of a brainstorming list.
Yeah.
Like, get it all out, get it down on paper. If you are carrying around, and this is not for everybody, this is for majority, and I think Anne is the exception to this rule. If you're carrying around a 15 number to-do list, you'll never get it done, and you'll just feel overwhelmed, right? 3 things at a time. Your brain can only handle 3 things at a time, right? So get it out, and you can look at it and pick 3 things and do it, and then you can go back to it again, but try not to just like look at this endless list on paper, because you'll just set yourself into a spin.
Yeah. That's good advice. Well, thank you, Gina. It's been great picking your brain.
My pleasure. You know how much I love this.
I used to also, when you get a thought that comes in, or you think about something, like my brain's always working. I've actually trained it to switch off now. So at a certain time, and it's 10 p.m. my time, I actually don't do any work from 8 p.m. now. I used to work until like 1 in the morning. But now I'm strict with myself. I need my sleep. It's very important. So 10, phones off, computers off, go to sleep. But sometimes you're watching something. Like I might watch a movie, and then a little idea comes in my head. And I know by tomorrow when I get on my computer, I've forgotten it. So, so what I do is on my phone, I have a little that notepad there where I write down anything that is creative or that comes into my head. Like it might be an idea, or it might be a name for a course, or it might be whatever it is, and then I write it down. Or it might be a saying that I love, that I want to I just want to keep it there. It makes me feel good. And then it was in December, I started going through my phone to delete stuff, and I came across this long list. I never realized how long it got, but like when I read it, I thought, did I write that? Did I write that? I couldn't believe that I had written it, and it made me feel so good. Like, even though it wasn't physically writing it down, but it was just recording, things that made me feel good, or sayings or ideas that I knew I'd forget. So I just want to share that.
Most of my clients, I actually have them separate from all of their, their journals and their to-do list, their workbook, is have a book for ideas.
Yeah.
And that's all it is, just ideas. And you don't have to figure them out. Just they pop in your mind, write them down. You can check it periodically. Just write it down so you don't forget. Some, like I put mine on my bed at night because I wake up in the middle of the night and think, oh,
yeah, me too.
And I can't do the phone because it blinds me. So I'd rather turn the light on and write it down. So it's always great to have that. And then you can go back to it anytime. It's a great idea.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well, thank you for sharing, for everyone, for participating and sharing your elevator pitches. So none of us like the thought of growing old, but it's inevitable. And we all want to age gracefully. So what we're wondering today, we've got a prize to give out. We want you to tell us, what is your number one concern about aging? Think about it for a sec, put the answer in the chat, and I'm going to tell you about the prize today. So the prize is a book that I'm particularly proud of, Pursuit 365, because I'm a co-author, and believe it or not, the book has sold out twice on Amazon. And can you imagine 365 women came together, all from Canada, to share their stories, and there are some amazing stories in it. Women overcoming, trauma in their life, women learning new things, women changing their mindset and finding new directions. It's available on Amazon. They're just in the third print now. So if you want to get a copy, contact me and I can find you one. But what I wanted to do was share one of the stories with you today. One of the co-authors was Biff Naked. I'm not sure those outside of Canada, if you'll know who she is, but she's a marvelous singer here in Canada and actually on the international scene. And she wrote the foreword, and this is what she shared. My mother, in her infinite wisdom, had sat me down one day and told me the story about the end of her marriage. I had always had her on a pedestal, had thought she was strong, and everything had come easy until then. Apparently, she had taken her diamond-encrusted wedding ring off, thrown it at her husband, my father, and walked out. 5 children, years of being physically beaten and belittled, she had, in a moment which likely seemed like a surprise to him, tossed the symbol of their unity and never looked back. That moment, she told me, it did not describe the pain she endured. It did not equate to the years of abuse or the mere fact that she just may have married the wrong person. It did not tell of the courage it took for her to tell me the story of the pain that was behind what led to that action. But it did tell me succinctly that she had survived, that she was human, and she had done and could find hope even at the most difficult times. It is her story, and no one could tell it better than the author. There are 365 stories captured in these pages, stories that took courage to write, to peel back sometimes painful layers. What we learn from stories is that we are not alone, that someone else had to overcome something similar or sometimes worse. And these stories tell us that others share our fears, our challenges, and that we are human. And through this, we can, like others, find hope, even in the most difficult times. At the end of the day, when I set off on my own life, I was stronger. I did not blame my mother for the pain she had endured. I looked at her as someone I loved and someone that was not brought into this world for me to put on Judgment Day. Her sharing her story made me see the other side of her and realize that there's always a story. We just have to listen. These 365 stories are for you. They are a gift presented from the heart. Open your gift and you will open your mind. So it's just, I've had such fun reading the stories out of this book. Like I said, some of them are just awe-inspiring. And there's one particular one, Arlene, you're really going to enjoy it. I know you haven't got your copy yet, of a woman who got involved in an online dating horror case. And it was quite spectacular. So I just wanted to share that. So now, Anne, what number range should I use to choose a number for the winner?
Well, you know what, Sherry, because we have a small group today, I think that why don't we just let everyone say theirs quickly.
Okay.
Yeah, and then yeah, let's do it that way. We have time.
So you want each person to pick a number?
No, each person to say what they fear about aging.
Oh, what they fear. Okay.
Yeah.
Got you. Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. Can I start?
Go for it.
I want to win the book, though. Am I allowed to?
No.
Arlene wants it. She says no. You can't win it. Yeah, I think the biggest fear for me is that that I'm unable to walk because I live on my own, and my kids are all grown up living their own lives, and I'm unable to walk, and be self-sufficient, or I know there is help out there that you can get, but that's my biggest fear, like that my bones give up on me. I can't see myself in a wheelchair ever. I just can't.
Oh, that's an amazing sharing. It's so true. I'm actually uh, involved in an exercise program right now that you know about, and that was one of the things that got me to it, because with my heart condition and then some of the other health issues, my legs were getting weaker and weaker, and I thought the same thing. If I don't get strength back in my legs so that I can function properly, I'm going to lose my mobility, and it was just a frightening thought.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Who else would like to share?
I'll share. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So I've always thought, we all know people, men and women, that didn't have a plan and that had to go into nursing homes and god awful places, or their family wasn't there for them as they grew older. And so one of my things, or one of my major thing in growing older, has been for several years, is that I want to be able to have the finances to have this wonderful place that I want to live, like on the beach, and then I hire people to come in and do what I need to do, or what I need that I can't do for myself during those last years. And so I think that, having people that you've personally chosen to be part of your life, then, that understands that, yes, you need your earring on and you need your lipstick on, and you're up for the day and you're off and running, and you're going to be active, you're going to be doing things, but it all takes a plan. And so many people, they just put it aside. Oh, that will never happen to me. But health is something that is not a guarantee. We have to be working towards it. So that's my little thing. So thanks for letting me share.
Fabulous, Cheryl. It's so true. You know, a lot of people give up the control of their life as they age, and for sure, it's important that we are able to have that control and own the control. You know, as we age out. Who else has got one?
I worry about my wrinkles. I know that sounds so weird. I actually don't worry about the rest of it. I'm in the best shape I've ever been. My mom is 85 and they still live on their own, and like I'm super healthy, but I worry about my wrinkles. Plus fat though, you know, the boyfriend's 16 years younger, so it just freaks me out.
Go, Gina. Go, go.
Easy peasy getting the wrinkles fixed.
Yeah. So I know
Well,
actually much.
you're ageless, my girl.
Thank you. I am 29 in my head.
But isn't it true? Like as we age, you know, in our minds, we're still the 17 or 20-year-old, and then you look in the mirror and you think, who the hell is that woman?
Mind you, this week my brother, it was my brother's birthday the other day, and he turns 59, and I said to him, God, that's amazing. He's like, I don't feel that different. He said, I'm a bit slower, but he put a picture up from 10 years. He put it up and it was on my Facebook wall. And I thought, I'm not going to prove that because it was terrible. And then I thought, oh yeah, I am. Anyway, like 10 years, like I look better now than I did 10 years ago. Right? I'm way more healthy. Like it was really interesting to look at.
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting point, Gina, because in a lot of ways too, I think that as women age, we actually improve like fine wine. You know, a lot of us when we were younger, we're insecure, we're not settled in our life. You know, we still haven't had that experience. But then you hit a certain age and you start to say and feel powerful and empowered, right? The age and all that experience, it starts to do something great for your self-confidence.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Gosh.
Do we have some more sharing?
Arlene wants
Be
to go.
brave.
Arlene, you want to go, don't you? You want the book.
Well, health would be the number one thing, but I think one of my fears is, and it's kind of a silly fear because when you're gone, you don't have the memory, but is not accomplishing all that you want to do in a day and enjoying the moments, and so that's always a fear, getting the most out of the day.
And coming from the voice, from a true go-getter, I can tell. But it's true, like, you know, life is too short, right? And if we don't grab it now and do the things we want to, well, when will we? It's so true, Holly. So Arlene?
Okay. I'm only a little wary because I tend to say some things that I saw in one of the videos where I spoke a few weeks ago, and I saw it on YouTube and I went, oh my God, I wonder how many of my relatives are going to see this. A lot of my family don't know that I met my partner on online dating. So that's going to be a subject every time I see them now. And so anyway, and we've got some good stories around that, that's for sure. But I just want to add about that Pursuit 365, the book for 2022. I mentioned earlier, I'm going to do a page for that, but I've arranged a trifecta. So that means that I'm going to be, and we've chosen 3 dates when we're going to, I guess, be featured on the website or on the Facebook page. But so October the 10th, my granddaughter, October 10th, 2022, my granddaughter, Stephanie, she's, if anybody sees this, she's going to be writing about online dating for the 25 to 45-year-olds. And then my former daughter-in-law, my son's ex-wife, is going to be writing about online dating for the 45 to 65-year-olds. And then she's got a unique experience that involved a marriage. And then I'm going to be writing about for women of a certain age over 40, over 65. So the sky's the limit after 65. And so we're going to be writing about the 3 different generations, October 10, 11, and 12. So we're going to try to coordinate so our stories kind of flow a little bit, but they are our unique stories. So it's kind of fun talking to your granddaughter about online dating when she was very close to her grandpa. So it's quite a lot of fun. I'm really excited about it now that I've got that all set up. So that's my story.
That's marvelous, Arlene. Yes, and for any of the audience who is Canadian, there is another book launching next year, and Arlene is in on that. But if you're interested in participating in that, just drop me a note too, and I'll get you in touch with the production crew of it. So thank you again for sharing. And Cheryl DeBesh, that book is coming to you today. So congratulations.
So much.
So what are we talking about next week? Well, next week is Good Friday. And we, Anna and I talked about maybe not having a show because people might be busy, but we decided, no, we're forging ahead with the show. And what we're doing is we're going to celebrate the customs, celebrations, and family traditions that our audience from around the world is sharing and doing over the holiday weekend. So do you have a special tradition for your Easter celebration? Come on the show and share it. And if you can, let us know, drop us a note in the chat that you're going to, and because what we want is to have pictures to share next week. And we're going to have a special recipe that we're going to send out at the beginning of the week. And people can make it and try it for their Easter celebration if they want, but we're going to be sharing it on the show. So please invite people, your friends, to come onto the show next week, and let's have a fabulous Easter celebration. And do you have anything to share before I close off?
Thank you, Sherry. Just that, thank you for coming on. I love hearing all the stories. I love all the ladies that are on today. You all make me laugh, and that's always a good thing. Although it can cause crow's feet, Gina, so maybe not laugh too much. Yeah, that's all from me. Thank you so much for joining the show today, and have an awesome weekend.
So TGIF, you are fabulous. Be fabulous. See you next week.
Thank you.